Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's freaking super week, man. And it has been an absolute super week. I'm Alan IHOLDSHIFT on a Frio.
And I'm Austin Visions Neal.
This is the Defuse brand spanking new, brother. I'm not gonna lie, my heart's kind of racing right now. We have really been putting in a lot of time for this format. We really hope that you guys enjoy it. It's not going to be your normal, just full recap, Austin. If you want recaps,
Right.
you can find them on like 18 different Twitter pages. We're doing something different.
Yeah, we're doing something different. We got some new topics to kind of add in. Going to have a lot of fun with it. And well, kicking off our very first topic, that's a perfect segue in towards First Blood, right? Got
First blood,
ourselves this
baby.
amazing topic to start talking about all of the big things I think that stand out to us over the first course of this Super Week. And we'll go into a bit of a dive here for about 5 minutes. So starting first, I mean, coming in towards the mix for us, we got season.
First Blood.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Season 2 is looking absolutely litty. Now, I will say this much. I cannot play this because it's 52 gigabytes and it's going to take me about 18 years to download it all. But I'm really, really pumped about it, man. Hey, we got some map
Yes.
changes. I remember like the very early parts of the beta. Do you remember when we were talking about the beta and I was sitting here like, Austin, these maps, they just need to change. We just need new
Yeah.
maps. There are some things that have to happen to make these different. And well, we did not necessarily get those initially. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, there's something's got to happen here. Okay, we got to get some adaptions. We got to get something going on. We've cut Moscow completely. We've trimmed the fat. We've got
Beautiful.
some new places that you cannot contest anymore on raid. And then beyond that, we're also kind of looking forward to Miami Strike and things of that nature. Smokes are different. I mean, goodness. I mean, where do we even start? I'm going to start with the Moscow because that is a
Sure.
change that I'm so glad that happened. All that little finesse around the backside of that statue behind P4. Get it out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm right back in the beta, kind of remembering you say exactly what you had just said, where, we needed these changes. Moscow just has a lot of additional map that you just do not need. Like, it just felt like, you have these spots that are just not being used. That's been shortened, that's been kind of trimmed down to make the map flow a little bit easier and a little bit better. So I do like that for as far as what we do have. And then we have the contest spots that are also kind of being looked at the top of raid for P1 in towards the garage on the van. So opening up some opportunities as well as taking some away for as far as some that we've seen being used over the course of these hard points since raid has been implemented in towards the mix here for us in the rotation. I think the only one I think is a little bit strange is Crossroads, getting that P4 change. I think
Ah,
everyone knew we needed a P4 change, right? It was like, this is really strange because if you're holding P3, P4, I mean, you're usually collecting a good 100 points or so if you're able to at least keep yourself on the time and you're holding the spawns. And they put it over towards boxes around ice. And I feel like
yeah.
now it's out in the open, right? I was kind of looking maybe for it to go in towards the middle of the map. I feel like it could have played there a little spot, but out in the open by boxes, it feels like it's probably just going to be going to the game clock for the most part.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. I am not sure about it. Now, it's too early. It's too early to tell.
Fair.
But let's be honest. 3 to 4 initially when it went from inside the fire garage over towards the backside of the tent. Not exactly the most I don't know, not the most like, intuitive rotation because you're essentially on that side of the map for way too long,
Mm-hmm.
and we're missing that extra hard point in the middle of the map. But I agree with you. I think if you were to have the back of the hard point near the front of the boxes and then the front of the hard point right underneath the catwalk, that would make it maybe a little bit oppressive when it comes, or a little less oppressive from the high ground. You've got cliff up top, you've got the fences up top. It's one of those things that, yeah, it's in a really weird space, I think, overall. But I'm happy to see them messing around with it, and I'm happy to also see
Yeah.
some instances of, like, the headies are changing a little bit over by tires. That little wooden wall's a little bit higher, so you can't see directly into the fire garage side door. Love stuff like that, so I'm pumped. But I got to get your take here, not away from just the Crossroads change, but also the smokes. That is going to be an interesting one because smokes are back, but at the same point, we also saw some screenshots people
We
that are
did.
able to still see through them. So
Yeah, it's like we're hoping they're back. We want to see them in because we know how important it would be. And well, if smokes are
yep,
back, that means snipers are back here for ourselves. So
most
it
likely.
would be just awesome if we could honestly get that back in towards the mix here for us. So maybe some changes still need to come through here at the very least, but it at least is a step in the right direction, which is the biggest factor here for us. Treyarch are looking to make some of these moves, much as they weren't immediately. At least they are being done. So we know that they're
Yes.
actively looking at this as an issue, and I think to the competitive competitive community, that is certainly something to give us, a bit of hope for as far as what we might end up seeing here. So I'm very, very happy to see that we are getting these changes because we need snipers back, Alan. It's as simple as that.
Badly.
We need smokes back. I mean, there is a massive problem defensively in specific game modes here for us. I mean, really talking about search and destroy as well as control on certain maps that just make it almost impossible to make any creativity happen.
And the thing about it, and I was really interested to hear Maven and Merc talking about it when Merc was talking about how Raid Search and Destroy is playing so fast, and Maven asked the question, is it because there's no smokes and no snipers in your opinion? He actually did not think that was the case, not largely, but you have to feel like without the presence of any smokes especially, but sniper rifles for sure on certain maps, that the speed, tempo, and all of the executions are going to change wildly. So I don't know. I'm very interested and intrigued to think and see kind of what's going to come next. And then beyond that, how about this? We've been kind of clamoring for league play changes, and we did get a one mini like little hot fix. We're like, well, that's not enough. Score streaks have changed a little bit. Some of the stuff that you could load out in your attachments have also changed a little bit. So hey, we're starting to get some stuff coming through, man. We're starting to get some of those adaptations that we're looking for.
Slowly but surely. I think that was another factor where we're like, are they even going to look at, league play for a while? They're just going to let it be. It's like, all right, we shut them up. We gave them something. Now we're going to go work on something else. Season 2, season 3, right? Like that's kind of what I think a lot of us were expecting, but it's not the case. Turek, still showing us, all right, we're listening. And I think Vonderhaar was also very vocal coming out on Twitter, responding to a lot of people, thinking that the Black Ops 4 system was something that the fans had actually enjoyed the most for as far as the ranked playlist. So it's nice to see that. I think they're starting to take some of that feedback in. They're giving us some changes, and that's really what we want, right? We want to get the league play as close as we possibly can to how it would feel to be, in a professional game. And I think we're moving slowly towards that.
Well, let's move on away from season 2 because I'm sure all of us have had a chance to get their hands on it, except for me. But let's talk about Challengers Champs, man. Hey, that happened. That's a thing. We have that going on. My goodness, what a Challengers Champs it was. First and foremost, a big congratulations over to Rams and the New York NYSL Academy as they just closed out their series like not that long ago. But man, I'll tell you this much. This Challengers first stage brought us everything that I think that we wanted to see. Europe was really tight, except for Team 3G. Sorry, boys. And that also sounded the same thing for North America. Very, very tight up until the end. Sorry, Mr. Midmaps. But, outside of like those two teams that largely weren't great, we saw an incredible knockout stage from start to finish and an even better playoffs with our final 4 teams from each region.
Yeah, man, this was extremely hyped for what we got today, man. Just like everything coming through, there was a lot of storylines that were implemented, right? We got to see Rams up against Singularity again. The rivalry that was kind of building through a couple of cups ago for as far as some Twitter banner and things like this. And, Rams pulled through. We keep going through that entire bracket. And I think, we have this squad that no one really expected, I think, to go towards the finals, especially after kind of dropping Dave, right? Like this Orgla squad was a team that I think was completely overlooked throughout the EU scene. And there was a lot of others that were, considered to be stronger. Obtain, first of all, I think was certainly one that we thought would maybe do better, but the Rams are just too good when it comes down to crunch time, right? It was 2-1 in that series. I mean, yeah, it's like I said last time, I think on the Defuse, it's like, if you're playing the Rams, you better close it out in the first 4 maps, man, because if they're going to map 5, it doesn't matter if you're neck and neck. It's super tight. Garrison, round for round, they just have this ability to be able to clutch up in those round 11s, in those final moments. They go big. They bring home the win. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how close it is, just matters if you win. And I think that's exactly what we got there from the Rams today.
And I'll be the first one to say it. Remember the first time we came on this show, we're talking about Rams, and I was like, I don't know, dude, Nvidian, like that's your 4th pick for your main AR. He blew up, man. I'm telling you, like,
good.
As soon as the Challengers Elite stage started, it was like Nvidian was a brand new man, and he was looking incredible throughout the knockout and the playoff bracket, through and through, match to match, map to map. Oh my goodness. And now I'm sitting here wondering, like, maybe he was held back playing with teams in the past, like, what in the world is this? But, I forget who brought it up, but one of the casters had brought it up, like, think about the European seed and how there have been some established duos in the past, but you've got this Spanish duo of Lucky and Metals that will just apparently not leave one each other's side, and they looked incredible as well for the Rams. Again, I think that's one of the large reasons why they even got to the Challengers League in the first place, let alone why they're so good in map 5s, because both of those players in Search and Destroy were so clutch so many darn times.
I just you got to give it up to, I think Metals in particular is the one that I think I look at the most when it came down to going big. He won a lot of big gunfights in that map 5, and he was able to take over in multiple respawns. But Lucky right beside him also had a lot of really big moments as well. And I think that duo is obviously just absolutely incredible, and they showcased that throughout that entire run, through a lot of the last cups where they've been also starting to win those. Right, so everything is finally got to the point where they're starting to actually win. They know how to do it, and they're what everyone's looking at for as far as, all right, what do we need to do to beat these guys, because those are the guys to beat. But as we had a champion in one region, Alan, we also had a champion in another, and well, that one just about ended there for us. It was an absolute battle, a brawl in towards the end there. New York Subliners up against Wester. I think a lot of people had Wester, including myself, coming out in that series, but NYSL, I mean, showing a lot of heart, showing that you can't underestimate these guys, you can't count them out, because they're always going to give us a fight, and a great broadcast is what they certainly brought today when we were watching over their matches.
Bro, they barely made it to the grand finals. Like, they're down
Pretty wild, right?
0-2 versus
0-2.
UT Crew. You have to force this team to get a reverse sweep, and they do? Like, hello? I mean, it was literally fractions away. I mean, that Garrison hardpoint was 250, 246. You don't get that one single kill top mid map. You lose that last rotation. Bye-bye. You're not in grand finals, and it's UT Crew playing up against Wester, and I think Wester takes that one probably. But regardless of that didn't happen. It was a reverse sweep. Can't take anything away from the boys. I mean, unbelievable. That checkmate search and destroy that they put together today against UT Crew, absolute bliss. Like, some of the more creative plays that we've seen for that map mode specifically, and they were absolutely preconceived. Such a good execution for NYSL.
You have to, one, think of the pressure that you're in. You're, bringing things back from 0-2. You get it towards a game 5, and you're playing checkmate. And we know how this map plays out. We just touched on it. There's no smokes. There's no snipers. You just don't have the ability to be able to use this creativity on the map that you want to be able to do something different. I mean, the game plan for most teams is get playing control, try and battle your way in, find all the kills, or get the bomb down, right? Like, that is the strategy. Like, you have to try and execute that the best you possibly can. And I give a lot of credit to NYSL Academy, man. Like, they were actually willing to try something a little bit different, working off the sides of the lanes in a map 5 that determines whether or not they move on towards the grand final, right? The balls to call for some of those plays and to actually have a lot of them work out in the end when we're talking about those later offenses. You just got to give these guys a round of applause, man, because it was just so incredible to watch that as we're kind of like watching the games together. We're like, dude, these guys are just going for it. Like, you can just feel it. They really want to try and catch them off guard. And that's exactly what they were doing in a lot of those cases.
I mean, it's just, it was poetry, dude. Like, those last couple of rounds in those offenses were absolutely poetry. But hey, we have to move on. We've got so much to talk about, so little time. And well, Florida fans might not be happy with this next topic, my man. I'll try my best to salvage it, but we've got Florida dominating First Bloods. I think the tweet that we saw from Easy Mac in specific about this was they were 7-2 in one of their matches, 8-2 in the other, and they still lost both maps. Talk about things you can't let happen. That's number one.
That's number one. Yeah, that's number one, Alan. I mean, I just almost can't even find the words to say, like, if you're getting that many First Bloods and losing that many search and destroys, like, there is a bigger problem at hand, because you have one player who is playing the best in the now in search and destroy. And well, look at that handsome man right there. He's on your screen. We can see it. No, it's not Alan. It's Awakening. He's absolutely going off, and he is just doing everything he can to try and help this Florida squad pull through, getting a large majority of these First Bloods. I think he's leading the league right now with them. He's opening up with, I think it's a 2.6 KD, something absolutely crazy for as far as what he's brought to this game mode. And yet they are still not closing out search and destroys. It's problematic for sure.
It's absolutely problem. He's got Awakening has a 2.40 KD in search and destroy. No one's even close to that. The next closest is like Simp it's Diamond Con at 1.5 and accuracy at 1.53 that I could see just quickly looking at Easy Mac stats. Shout out to Easy Mac. 2.4. Like, that's unreal. And it's not against slouchy opponents either. I mean, that's versus a very good Toronto Ultra team. LAG, who actually, to be fair, didn't look terrible in search. And the Paris Legion. Like, those are good opponents when it comes to what they're doing in search and destroy right now. You have to help them out, man. Like, flat out. Like, it's an uncanny statistic Because often in the caster world, we already know it. We very largely try to mentally check, okay, what are the first bloods looking like? Okay, well, they're 3-3, and hey, look at that, the scoreline's also 3-3. No, it's 7-2, and they're losing 4-6. Like, what in the world? That's got to change. It has to change.
It has to change, and it's weird because we look at this roster as, I think, a solid roster, a middle of the pack at least, but a team that could certainly contest some of these top teams where you have, the young gun Awakening who came into the league last year, absolutely blew everyone, out of the water, was surprising people left and right, was looking solid, and helped contribute towards a lot of those wins that Florida was able to get, while also adding, of course, Farrell in towards the mix when that had happened. But now you have, Slack, to someone who I'm still not totally convinced on right now at the moment. You have Neptune, who, I mean, is certainly trying to match Shotzzy for as far as the best movement in the game, right? I mean, he's been dancing around the map a little bit, and he's been looking pretty good. And you got Skies, who I think is also someone who's kind of overlooked for as far as the assault rifle role, but is always able to bring a lot of value towards the team. And I'm just really kind of just coming through with a lot of question marks in my head, because I look at this squad and I think there's a lot of potential, but the potential has just not come through here for them just yet.
It has to get to beyond Awakening and Skies, I think, largely, especially in the search and destroy. I mean,
agreed.
Slack has got a 0.64 current KD in search and destroy. There aren't too many that are worse than that. Like, just to be candid, like, someone's got to help. Like, you cannot continue to lose. Like, how many 3v4s was it versus Paris? I think it was like 4 different 3v4s at least that were turned around in a couple of different 2v4 situations. Like, you've got numbers. Get a trade. That's literally it. Like, if you're getting these first bloods and they are existing in 4v3 situations largely since the time they get the first bloods, that's just bad search and destroy after that. Like, Tupac's about to pull his hair out on Twitter, dude. Every time that there's a bad search and destroy, I look over to Twitter and Tupac, I feel the rage going through his keyboard when I see his tweets pop up.
You can feel that emotion just building, right? He's like, get me on there. Let me help these guys out, because they need it. They need it, man. It's a problem.
Look, Florida's in a world of hurt beyond just the search and destroy. I mean, they're 1-4 in hardpoint, and some pretty bad losses. That 133 to 250 against LAG. They looked. I mean, to be fair, they looked kind of lost on Crossroads overall, except for like that. That was the match that they had like a really good off the rip start. Like, they had like 60 points off the combination of P1 and then the initial time at P2, and then they got broke and barely found time after that. Like, I don't know what's up with this team right now. I'm sure we'll talk more about it later, but Awakening is about to be in Octane shoes from last year, it almost feels like. Like, him and Skies are just looking around for help right now, because you can't be walking away with that many free first bloods where you're not traded as Awakening specifically, and then still losing S&D rounds. It's got to change.
It's got to change. It's funny you bring that up, and Slack was on that team and this team this year too, right? So
I
think we'll get into that one as well. I'll just leave that be.
Hands off on that one for right now.
That one in. Just throw that one in is all.
I'm absolutely hands off.
Well, we move along here, Alan, though, and we got another really cool topic to show you guys, don't we?
A little bit of chalk or talk.
I love this little jingle right here, too, eh?
I'm telling you, Chalk or Talk. This is another new little sequence that we've got put together for you guys on Chalk or Talk. The whole idea is a hot button topic will be pitched to us by the show. I was going to say the producer, but I'm producing. That wouldn't make any sense. But it's a just hot topic statement, and the whole idea is you got to sit there and say, do you chalk it up or do you talk it up? Do you like it or do you not like it? Chalk, of course, meaning that you don't like it. Talk, meaning that you're all about it. You're going to talk all about it. I'm pumped for this one because we've got some really spicy topics for this one. Let's start it off, shall we? How about it? The London Royal Ravens, this Royal roster. Chalk or talking this current Royal Ravens roster right now, Visions?
I'm chalking it, Alan. I'm chalking it. And I don't think it's because of Parasite. And I'm going to be honest. I think Parasite has had a fantastic showing this far in towards the league. But I'm not getting enough out of Alex right now, man. And I think Shawnee's been able to hold his own. I think Dylan's doing Dylan things. He's still looking good coming in towards 4v4. But I think Alex is a serious problem. And I also think there's a massive mental block. When you know that you're supposed to have your fourth, which is Zero, who can't get over because of visa issues and, of course, COVID, it's a problem. We understand. But when you know in the back of your head that we have to bring Parasite in just to simply have that fourth in the roster, and we don't have the fourth person we originally, set out to get here for this squad, that's got to be in the back of these guys' heads. And I think that's also got to have an effect for as far as how scrims are going. Obviously the performance online has not been great, even though Parasite has been trying to step things up the best he possibly can. And again, I just don't think that this is actually Parasite's fault for as far as what we have seen out of the squad thus far.
I am, for the week, talking about this roster. Yesterday was bad. Yesterday was awful. Like, not good at all. Today, though, hey, look at this. All 4 players are participating. The thing about this roster and why I still think that this team has some possibilities is the simple fact that Parasite's playing really consistently. And there are some moments where it kind of feels like Parasite's playing a little bit for himself. That's to be expected because it is a brand new roster. But if Dylan gets into form, which we've seen he's got the potential to, he is potentially the dirtiest SMG in the game. Shawnee has had some incredible moments, and Alex has had pop-off moments. I would say out of the 4 of them, I'm most on edge about Alex, but I'm giving this team another chance here. I mean, they played a Dallas Empire team today pretty darn close. So I'm still talking this roster for now. I don't know, though. I hesitate to fully commit to it. I will not lie to you. I am kind of hesitating to fully commit to it. But for now, I'm still on the hype train that this London team can actually do something.
All right, but we move along. TJ the hard carry. Oh. I'm talking that, Alan. I'm talking that, baby. TJ's been insane. Like, honestly, this just gives me World War II TJ vibes. This is something I think we said when we watched them play really early Moscow in like their first match, where TJ just had like a crazy game. And it's been a long time, I think, to that we've seen that. Like all through the Modern Warfare season, that wasn't existent whatsoever. Yep. Sure, we got a lot of TJ at the beginning of the year when he was on that Optic roster with Dashy, Crim6, and Scump Karma. That looked like that was the squad that fit him perfectly. He was able to pop off. It's 5v5. He was doing great things. But it feels like as we get back to 4v4, the impacts of multi-kills actually play such an important factor, and TJ is delivering, man. And not only that, but TJ came from the search and destroy scene, man, and he went 12-0 today in their last match and set records for sure within Cold War. Like, I can't remember the last time we saw someone go flawless in a search and destroy, have a performance like that, get streaks, get that many first bloods as well, man. Like, I'm talking TJ for sure.
The closest into the flawless was Sib's performance on search and destroy on Arsenal with the sniper rifle versus units, but I'm chalking this. He is not the hard carry for the Los Angeles Thieves. Is he playing incredibly well? Absolutely. But is he the hard carry? Bro, Temp had a day today. Ketty played really great last week in a number of clutch scenarios, and Slasher is still being Slasher. This LA Thieves team is just really good all the way around. No, TJ's not the hard carry here. I'm chalking that up. Yeah, he's playing well. Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, 12-0 makes my point not nearly as convincing as it could be. But the fact of the matter is, everybody on this team is playing really, really well. At my own surprise, because we sat down and said, well, if TJ doesn't have a good year, if Temp doesn't have a good year, you move Kenny to go play sub, you bring Draza to play the AR flex, throw that out the window. This is probably one of the more well-rounded teams that's playing in the CDL right now. So I'm not saying TJ's the hard carry there. I'm going to have to chalk that one up and just give the love where love is deserved, because let's be honest, those guys are, as a collective, playing very, very. How about this one, though? We get out of Challengers. Would there, in your mind, be a Challengers team? Again, this is the Chalker Talk. A Challengers team right now would be a top 6 team in the CDL at the moment. Pick your poison. I'm going with Wester as my choice, and I am sitting there and I am talking this up. I absolutely think that a team like Wester would be top 6 in the CDL right now.
Oh man, I'm chalking this one, Alan. I'm chalking it. I think Wester is good, even though they lose to New York subliners today. I think they're going to come back. They're going to be stronger, and I think maybe that's a theme because I think I keep saying that after some of the cup results, but I still think that's a factor for them. But I think that they're good. I think that they're great. There's a lot of synergy, but I think the biggest thing about this Wester squad is that they did catch on to the game really early, and because of that, a lot of the amateur
That's fair.
teams, I think, we're trying to figure out what were they doing so well, and then finally caught up to them as we see some of these, past cups kind of go by, as well as this elite that just went by as well. But I'm just not convinced yet. I think that there's a lot of, insane talent that we have to offer in Call of Duty, period. And we also shortened the league, down from 5v5 to 4v4. So now that's even harder to get yourself in towards a point where I think you could consider that they might be able to put up a fight against a lot of CDL teams, get some wins, sure, but top 6, I'm just not convinced, so I'm chalking that one out.
Man, I just think that here's the fact, and this is why I pick this Wester team. Their control is unlike anything else currently that we're really seeing. Outside of a couple of instances of the CDL, on the simple fact that Wester is so good at control, they've polished up their search and destroy since the pre-elite, the pre-elite is proper and NVIDIA like to call it, and their hardpoint is still pretty darn dominant. I think that they would be in a position right now to where they would have beat some teams. I think that in week 1, they could have beat Minnesota Rocker. I think that this last week, they probably could beat the London Royal Ravens. I think that they could be a top 6 team. I would even have them favored against teams like LAG. I don't know. I think that they could be top 6 right now. Top 6 by the end of the stage, maybe not. But right now, I think that they could make that. I don't know.
We'll leave that one be.
All right. All right. Well, that's it for Chalk or Talk. Coming up next. Oh my goodness. I hope you're ready. We're about to get overextended.
First off, Alan picked but this one I think was a banger.
Okay. You like that one?
Yeah, man, I'm getting hyped up before we get into this topic. I'm feeling good, feeling great. But no, we're going to take a topic and we're going to really excel and extend what we think or believe is true. And we're going to take it and kind of just throw it Hail Mary and see where it goes. I think it's the biggest thing. And well, you got this first one here for us, Alan.
I'm about to go rogue on you.
First one.
I don't know if you're ready for this one. I really don't know if you're ready for this one. This is about to get a little bit dicey. Again, we're taking these topics to little point and we're way overreacting to it. Mine is Asim is currently an early season MVP candidate. Oh my goodness, has he been absolutely incredible. Out of freaking nowhere, dude. Asim has been not only an incredible individual player, but you have to keep in mind, what team is he on? He is on a squad that needs the help right now. And I would say largely the reason why the subliners are winning matches is because of Asim's performances that we've seen so far. Is that taking away from players like Clayster or Diamondcon who also have played well? No, not necessarily, but the guy is currently holding the top KD on his squad, of which it's over 1.3 for the hard point. It's over 1.2 for the control. He could use a little bit of work on the search and destroy. But that said, the whole team could use a little bit of work on the search and destroy. So the fact that you're dealing with the team of the New York Subliners that is playing as well as they are, when no one, including some of us, would have thought that this was possible, the last player we would have looked at would have been, Asim is going to step up and make this team a winning caliber squad. He has done that, and in my mind, that should make him an early season MVP candidate, especially if he continues to play like he has so far this week. He's been lights out. He's been so darn good. And again, I don't think New York is winning unless Asim is doing the things that he's doing.
I think that's fair, Alan. I mean, I think Asim has looked the best he's ever looked. I think that's really fair right now, right? Like, he's on a team that probably should be doing maybe slightly better because of the starting roster they wanted to come in with. They didn't. He got thrown in towards the mix. He has to perform. So I think that's fair. I like that one. I like that one. But
let's be honest here. Like, Mac has not been the Mac that we come to expect. I mean,
that is true from last year.
Here's the thing. He, at least again, I'm looking off of EasyMac's stats sheet. It's not fully up to date, but it's getting there. And at the moment, Mac is holding a 0.63 overall KD. That is the worst overall in the league. Like, without question. It doesn't get good anywhere you dice it. It's 0.77 in hardpoint, 0.5 in surge, and 0.57 in control. That's not good enough for wins anywhere. So the fact that his team is picking up Mac's dirty laundry, yeah, he should be an early MVP candidate in my mind, at least for a consideration so far. That's what I got. That's my overextension. Take from what you will. I don't know.
I like it, Alan. I got one too. I got one too, baby.
Right, hit that OE, brother.
Let's get slacked out of here, dude. Let me see Havoc. Let me see Havoc, man. Listen, they're struggling in Search and Destroy. Let's weigh just between the two. Let's just put, respawns aside because they're both kind of objective players, right? They're probably not going to have KDs that really reflect what they're doing in the game. But let's just talk Search and Destroy, and let's look at last year. Havoc was a massive factor on why Florida really started to come online when we started to see some of those runs, and they started actually taking a lot of those home series. And Havoc was a massive part of shot calling, a massive part of actually creating a lot of these plays. And he was the one that was kind of at the head of the play, whether that was defending the middle of the map on Arcblock Peak. If we go back to what he was able to do with some of the finessing and kind of really teaching, I think, a lot of the players and teams what he was bringing to the table. And Slack just hasn't done it for me this far. You already hit on it. I mean, he's got what, 0.64 KD right now in Search and Destroy. He hasn't been doing anything incredible, I feel like, for me right now within some of the respawns. And at the end of the day, they needed to fill that spot for whatever reason. Maybe it's an issue, even behind the scenes that isn't on Havoc's performance whatsoever. That could certainly be a factor. We saw it with Bristini last year where they had to bench him for that reason, and he wanted to also step down. Things weren't clicking. Things weren't working. I want to get Havoc in this roster, and I think that he would really fix a lot of the problems because a lot of those problems are really in Search and Destroy and Respawn. I think Havoc is someone I already broke down at the beginning of the game with a tactical insight, talking about how intelligent he is and how he's able to play this roaming role just incredibly well right now in the game.
Yeah, I that's the big key. I'm glad he went backwards to the fact that Havoc, we saw him running that rogue SMG role, and it was very successful for them, at least in early scrims. Again, take from that what you will. Was it an early leap on the game? Maybe. But we have not seen that at all from Slack. And when you're 1-4 in hardpoint, and the differential's about like 60 points, like on average that you're losing by, like something's got to change. And it is largely on maps that do require SMG presence. Crossroads, they have not been playing well on. They lose that by an average of 100 points a game. That's not good. Not good. So I can see you going on that OE, brother. I see you valuing your life and rolling that one through. So, hey, you do what you got to do. But how about this? Next topic / segment that's coming up is what we're calling scrap time. No fun animation or sound yet. Big yet is what it comes down to. But the premise of this one, we're to go through 6 topics in 20 seconds. So, Austin, you better rotate pretty darn quick, my dude. That's all I'm saying. You better rotate quick. You ready to get going? You need to warm up? You need to loosen up a little bit here?
Alan, I always got our rotations in league play, man. I'm always anchoring. We're good, man. I mean, I'm leaving the scrap time. I'm going to new. Let's go.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna leave the scrap time. I'm gonna soak every bit of this second. Let's jump on in. Okay, 20 seconds on the clock. Challengers MVPs. Who you got from each region?
Challenger MVPs. I got medals right now from EU, and I got Saints from North America.
You stole mine from North America. Saints has been absolutely incredible. I'm loving Nasty, dude. Nasty has been absolutely lights out, especially in the playoffs. Unfortunately, they didn't find themselves the win that they were looking for. Hey, New York comms coming up here. What about Clayster and his flipping the bird and his voicing his concerns about, airing his comms after that first loss?
He's got every right to do this, Alan. I mean, we saw it. I think that this is a big problem that they shouldn't have done. He's right to go out, and I think New York's paying the fine, and they should. So, I mean, I'm okay with this. Right.
If there is a fine, I assume there's going to be one, but hey, that's the way it goes. I mean, hey, okay, let's do it. CDL top 3. I've got LA Thieves in 3rd. I've got Optic Chicago in 2nd. I got Atlanta FaZe in 1st.
Okay, that's actually what I got. I got Atlanta FaZe 1st, Optic 2nd, and I think then Dallas right now. I got Dallas 4th.
Okay, yeah, I got Dallas Force as well, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling great about their matchup coming up with New York. We'll talk about that here in a second. Hey, Hydra's coming to North America. What are your thoughts about him apparently not gonna be starting as of Clayster's tweet?
I am okay with Hydra not starting. I think that he hasn't been with the team. New York's been improving. They're getting better, and I don't know if you want to implement a change after already having a crazy change implemented into the team.
That's pretty fair. I'm still excited for the kid, but I'm not going to lie. I think he's got to go through the North American Challenger circuit first before we can really get a true look at him. I think he's still going to be in that roster probably at some point in time. How about the speaking of surges and rosters? How about the Seattle Surge? After all of that team killing going on, are changes required in Seattle?
I don't think they're necessarily required yet, but there's a lot of work to be done here for think Octane's really got to start showing us why he's the best AR in the game.
Yeah, gunless as well. I mean, let's be honest, they actually need a little bit of help if we're being completely candid. And then the final one, how about the New York Subliners? They've got Dallas and Minnesota in opposite order. I've got New York Subliners beating not just Minnesota, I've got them beating Dallas as well. 3-1, 3-2.
Ooh, okay. I got them beating Minnesota. I think it's going to go to 5. I think they clutch up, or they're going to win it 3-1, depending on how the series goes. And then I think that Dallas does beat NYSL 3-1 in that series.
Hey, that's scrap time. We nailed that, dude. First time, best time right there. Not bad at all. But we've gotten through all of our normal content here. That is the brand new format for the Defuse. We're getting away from just doing straight recaps. We're kind of holding ourselves to make this a little bit more entertaining and fun for you guys. So we hope that you guys enjoy it. Really, truly, we do. Let's do some viewer questions, shall we? I think that's probably about right. It's about that time to start doing some of those. See if we could get those cooking for us. So if you've got any questions in the chat, go ahead and start laying them out for you. And I actually need to make sure that we've got the correct giveaway link set up for anyone who wants to get involved with the giveaway, because let's be honest,
right? We
do love giveaways out here. So I don't know. What do we think? What do we think about the format of the show? I actually really think that's going to be very successful. I actually had some OBS problems over here trying to produce it, but yeah, it was still good. I think it was still good.
I feel like it's fun. You know, it's fun. It's a good time. Like, I think it gives us the ability to be able to expand on some things more. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. But I mean, it's definitely, it feels more fun, right? Like going through these things and kind of giving more hot takes and stuff like that. So it's good. But we do have a good question here. Where do you think the Rocker ranks right now here, Alan? I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
I need to see this Minnesota team tomorrow. I'll have a better answer. I've got them not bottom 4. That's about all I can say.
Yeah,
I've got them not bottom 4. I think that Attach is waking up. I think that Priest is still being solid. I still love the idea of the team overall. I'm just a little bit interested to see if they can keep it up, because their respawn is a big problem for them right now. And I think once teams start to catch up and search and destroy, will they start to kind of flatten out and then flat line is what my big question is for this team. So I've got them not bottom 4, probably sitting around 7th, 8th or 7th, probably around there.
Yeah, that's where I got them. I think Ultra is, you know, currently better than these guys. Like at the moment, I would say. I think that they're, I mean, Paris, I mean, it can also,
Paris
I think,
could
next
be,
time,
I think,
yeah, right. Like potentially, I think they've been on the rise. They've been looking a lot better with more work. So yeah, I kind of put these guys probably around where Alan has them, like 8th to 7th. I don't think they're the worst team by any means, but there's still a lot of work to be done with some of the names that are on their roster.
Now that I'm looking at it, I've got Minnesota below New York. Just because obviously I've got New York beating them tomorrow. But I've got them above Seattle, above Florida, above LAG, and probably above London. So yeah, I've got them like right there in 7 and 8 probably overall at the moment. Good question. Dashy MVP could be. He's looking nasty.
He's looking good, man.
He's looking real nasty.
I mean, how many times did he blood dance today?
Yeah, dude, well, except for the one that mattered at the end.
I guess that's true. Except for the one at the end, but the Bloods at the beginning of the rounds, he was just ripping them apart. That one hurt deep down, but I think Dashy is really looking good. I mean, 4v4 Call of Duty, right? Like we only saw Dashy 4v4 at the kind of end of World War II when he was playing with Parasite, I think it was, and you know, he started to make some moves, right? So I mean, Dashy's looking good. I think there's definitely potential he's MVP.
Pretty good stuff. Current best player in the world. That's kind of like the MVP conversation.
Yeah, I guess. Who else would you have up there with Dashy though?
Shotzi.
Yeah, really?
He's had a couple of shaky moments, but I think it's not necessarily, I don't know. I think he's still like the performance he's having right now is better than what he had last year.
At the beginning,
like,
sure.
At the beginning. Maybe not at the end, but at the same point, like in 5v5, there's more kills to find. But I don't know. I think that he would still be up there for an MVP conversation. I think Dashy would be up there. I'm not gonna lie. I think Scump is playing pretty dirty right now too.
I think Scump's
playing really well.
Yeah, I'd have a Beezy up there too for me right now too. I think Beezy might be one of the best players.
Good shout too. Huke's looking absolutely disgusting right now. Huke and Shotzi together, when they start to find their rhythm, they're nasty. Awakening, I think, is a good shout as well. I think he's just gonna find himself in Octane's position where I think, like, honestly, Octane and Gunless are going to be feeling very similar to Awakening and Skies. Like, the sublines for both of those teams right now are really... Not great. What do you guys think is going wrong with Dallas right now? What game mode is their weak point? Well, the game mode that's their weak point, it has absolutely been, I think, their search and destroy. Like, they've actually been pretty darn good in the respawns, largely. I mean, they put Seattle Surge in the 100-point club. They've clutched up a couple of moments when they absolutely needed to, but there have been some really scary moments in their search overall. And in going 5 against London, I mean, I had them 3-0ing to start the day. Like, there has to be some shutdown. I honestly, and I'm going to hate this because I drafted this guy first round, their weak point right now is Illy.
I think so too. It's just weird because when we were looking at the kickoff, I think we were like, "Oh my god!"
Illy, I was like, Illy's
Illy.
MVP status this year, dude.
Yeah,
that's why I drafted him first. Like,
I still don't put too much weight on it because, like you had said, like Shotzi had a slow start last year, and then once we got a few homestands in, like that's when Dallas really started to turn online. But I mean, I think we're really going to see, you know, of course, if that happens again, and whether or not the move was to actually drop Clayster, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's also the factor that we're going to get for ourselves.
I have to trust, and this was the large sentiment that we heard on broadcast, not only today, but also when they lost the other day. They will get better. Like, I think Illy as an AR flex, he will get into that role and be nasty at it. He's got the capability to. I think right now there's a little bit of miscoordination that leads to some awkward moments. Why you see some interesting things from Shotzi in search specifically. Shotzi's in search has been a little all over the place. Keep in mind though, as we're answering this question, guys, exclamation point giveaway. We are giving away a Dallas Empire team skin after we're done with viewer questions. So make sure you get in there and you get yourself going. Because it's free. It's free skin. Why would you not want that? Okay, well, are Optic the best respawn team in the league right now? I want to say yes, but there is a team called the Los Angeles Thieves that currently exists right now. And they look absolutely unreal at times when they're playing Control. Like, absolutely unreal. I think that this LA Thieves team would give them a run for their money. And you also got to keep in mind that Atlanta played this team and beat them in one of the hard points, but it was only a 5-point hard point, so take what you will from that. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Austin?
I personally think Optic is, and I think I relate a lot of it to, one, the results clearly, but two, when you're listening to the comms of Optic, and usually it actually kind of the first team they go into listening with for the respawns, they just look so composed and the coordination looks so good. Like, often, like, these guys are all understanding what to do at the right times. I think that's because Envoy is a massive factor on being able to direct a lot of these guys and what to do, and he's kind of filled that I guess that IGL for as far as the squad. But I mean, you have Scump on form, you have Dashy, who's looking like, you know, one of the best XM4s in the game right now, similar to what title he had with the Maddox. So I really do. I think I have Optic as one of the best respawn teams in the game. Sure.
All right. Is heavy formal as good as skinny formal? Oh man, yo, formal clutched the heck up on that P4 rotation on raid today. I know you don't want to hear that, but he went like on 8 in a row. That was
closing my eyes.
So nasty, dude. Absolutely so nasty. Top 5 subs in the game right now. Dude, I don't even know how to start. I mean, Simp, BZ, TJ, Envoy, Scump, like there's so many good subs in the game right now. I could probably, it would be easier for me to say bottom 5 subs in the game right now than top 5 subs in the game right now, which we won't do because reasons. Hey, I think okay, last question. Oh, this is a good one from King James. Hard Schlep, I'll answer yours as well because that's a good question too. We'll start with King James. Which teams do you think would improve right now if they picked up an AM, and which AM would you choose for those teams?
Get Saints into London for Alex.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Think of that tempo,
right?
Literally exactly what I was going to say.
The biggest problem that London have, I think, right now is probably a bit of a pacing issue because Dylan likes to play super fast. Alex does too, but the ARs like to play traditionally really slow. I think you add someone who plays almost even faster than Alex and actually has, I think, a lot of great performances to showcase already this early. I think that'd be the perfect fit.
I am gonna flip-flop around things just a little bit. Okay. Christini is, I don't know if you noticed, but he was pulling out 3 ARs. He was pulling out the 3rd AR in both respawns they played today, on both the Checkmate and the Moscow. and he was better. And that just
Sure.
feels like they're sitting there saying, let's play the bigger maps and let's force Pristini to run an AR. So that way he's got a little bit of a leash on him. Because he's over challenging like crazy again this year. Like we said the exact same stuff about him last year when he moved to Florida. Or was on Florida initially before he moved back to Chicago. And he's having the same problems again. And I think that you need a better finessing SMG out for Pristini.
I agree.
So, but
I think that's a factor, yeah.
I do think that I was going to say the same reasons. Parasite likes to get aggressive. I think him and Saints would play really well together. And I think Saints and Dylan would play really well together as well. And then Shawnee could just anchor because Shawnee's good at that. So
yeah, he's
move Octane to sub and Preston to AR. That's a top 3 team on God. Get out of here. Someone banned this guy.
Octane had a sub like pulled out at one point today.
Actually, no, he actually did. He actually did. I'm just kidding. We're not banning you, but that is a funny take. And then will the new map changes shake up the map list at all? I don't think so. Express is no longer in the rotation, I'm hearing. So is that going to be a map that is even put into search and destroy consideration? I don't know. I wish it were because I could just, I mean, I don't know. Smokes are going to make all the maps play differently, but Garrison and Checkmate are like on the hottest of hot seats right now for Surge.
Yeah, man. I mean, Checkmate in particular, I think it's the biggest one. So I don't think it's going to shake things up too much. I think teams might be more opting to veto out Crossroads. Like that could be something that could come in, right? There's a lot of teams that already don't like playing Crossroads. So we see P4 that is even more chaotic, and teams might just want anything to do with it and just go to a different map. So I mean, that's something that could definitely play an effect for us. But yeah, anything else like Raid is just going to be, I think, still one of the go-to picks for a lot of teams. So I don't think that's going to change anything.
All right, let's go ahead and jump on over. We kind of use this time. We've almost spent as much time on the questions as we did on the actual show, which is wild. Hey, let's pull this giveaway package. Last chance, exclamation point giveaway will get you in. I'll give you guys the better part of about 2 minutes to do it if you have not already. Exclamation point giveaway will send you to the tweet from the Defuse account. You have to click on that Gleam link, hit a couple of things to make sure you're following along with some stuff and subscribe to some stuff. And then you're in and you're good to go. And we will pull that here in just a moment. I do want to get your guys' thoughts, though. Like, what do you guys think on the new format of this show? Because we're stepping kind of away from just doing pure recaps. Because let's be honest, if we were to have just done recaps today, like, I feel like we would have been really spinning our wheels, personally. Because, like, that's a lot of games to go over.
Challengers and all Super Week of CDL, right?
Week. Yeah.
That is a lot. It's a lot to take in. And a lot of people, I feel like, see the results on Twitter as it is. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like
you go and watch Tactical Rab because he does them like literally the game's over and Rab's video's up, dude. I don't know how he does it. He's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, big fan, loved it a lot. Just better than just recaps. This is the wave 100%. Sick. Love that. Cool. Cool. Sure. We love to hear that. We're trying to make this as interactive as possible. And I will say this much. The segments that you saw today are not the only segments that we have for you guys.
Ooh. We got more ready and waiting, don't we?
We're just jacked up. We're having ourselves a hell of a time, dude. Very good tempo, super entertaining, a lot of great info. Sweet. I like the focusing that these segments bring forth. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that it was something that was fun, that really engaged you guys. So hopefully that really kind of came through today. And then beyond that, hopefully that if you are listening to this on Spotify or Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts, that there's a little bit of extra spice for you. One last refresh, and then we're pulling.
We're pulling it.
We're pulling winners. Let's go to it. Draw winners. Winner. Draw it. Click it. Bop it. Pull it. Draw it.
Twist it.
Winner. No way it's Quattro Hockey. No chance. I am not kidding at all. It's 100% Quattro Hockey. Entry number 39 for the action of following the Defuse on Spotify.
No
Mod
way.
bias, dude. What in the world? Oh my god, this stream is now officially rigged, dude. It's officially rigged.
Chalked.
We better get out of
We're
here
chalking
before
that, aren't we? Are we talking or chalking that?
We're chalking this entire stream, dude. We're chalking the entire thing. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and say farewell, but we'll have another giveaway ready to go for our next show, which will be on Friday. Expect to see some of those new segments in the mix, not just on Friday, but also on Sunday. Austin, say your farewell. Say your piece with the people.
Yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I mean, we got a lot more of these, right, Alan? We're doing 3 of these a week, so we're gonna see a lot of you guys. If you guys keep enjoying them, keep on coming. And yeah, man. Thanks for coming out, man. This is a blast.
Be the case. Well, hey, until next time there, friends, do not let your fuse fizzle out. We'll catch you next time. So long.